All right.
That's recorded.
Yes.
Oh, God.
We are recording.
Excuse me. And I'm talking about bring the energy. I'm trying to give myself a mantra to help me wake up.
Yeah, we're a little tired today.
We are a little tired today, but we're still going to make sure to give you all a quality episode.
Yeah, I'm giving y'all all my energy for this next 3 hours.
3? Y'all got me for max an hour today. Maximum. I worked this morning, came straight off work, got ready for this, so.
The dedication.
It's hard work and dedication. This podcast shit is not easy because you have to be consistent all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No weeks off.
Yeah, I was coming from kind of a Cousin's Day gathering, so that was super fun for me. So hated to leave that for us to do this podcast. But it was good seeing them. Like, I'm in a good mood. I can't complain. I got the people around me that I love, so I'm just glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here as well. I now see why someone said that you should narrate books. You do have I've always known you have a very calming voice, but like, they have different apps where people read you bedtime stories. I would love to hear you read a bedtime story, and that just would make me go to sleep.
I can read you whatever you want.
Oh, don't. Okay. We'll see when we get home. If you hold true to what you're saying and you just talking for the microphone.
Might just be talking.
I know you talking. You just talking.
You ain't gonna have me read nothing anyways.
I almost said something, but we recorded, so I'm gonna keep it cute. So, if this is your first time listening, welcome to the Message 24 podcast. If you are someone who listens every week, thank you for coming back and for listening.
Yes, we love you.
We love you guys. We appreciate you. I am one half of this podcast, and I am Lakhia.
And I'm the second half of this great podcast, and I am James.
All right, so before we start this podcast, I have to share some very interesting news with you all. So
tell them what the news.
I'm gonna tell them because it's crazy that this is even news. But so the casting director for a very, very popular Netflix show reached out to me about James and I potentially being on the season 2 of this highly successful show. So I'm going to just give y'all a second to just think about what show I am talking about. We also did an episode about this show, which is what's funny. So, okay, I'm going to let the suspense stop. Or am I? So, just know that they are shooting season 2 of this show in Charlotte. They are extending it as far as, like, if someone lives in Atlanta, you could still do the show, but you would need to be in Charlotte for like 8 weeks. I made sure I got all the details so that I could share it with other people.
That's insane.
Yes.
That's like a 4-hour.
I mean,
that's
it is.
4-hour trip, so.
And apparently they only shoot nights and weekends. So when people have to work, they only shoot nights and weekends, but they prefer people who have remote jobs so that they can, be there. Also, at the end of this show, if you decide to do a certain thing, you and the person you came with will leave with $30,000. Or if you and that or if you and the person that you came with do not leave together, you both get $15,000. So, I am talking about Le Ultimatum.
Hey.
They asked us, they wanted to meet with us about being on the show. Obviously, like, we're not going to do it because we're on the same page as it relates to marriage. However, $30,000 sounds amazing. So if you were someone who is in a relationship and one person wants something and the other person doesn't, and y'all live in the Charlotte area or surrounding area, and you want to do it, hit me up and I'll send you the casting director's information and y'all can go from there.
Yep, definitely legitimate. Talk about I guess, like, how you kind of felt during the... Do you want to talk about that or no?
During, the meeting?
Like, once you got the message of, like...
Oh, so once I got the message, I immediately thought it was fake. I'm like, okay, this is not real. But then I was like, you know what? let me just go check the page, and everything was legit. I was like, oh shit, like this is serious, like this is for real. And the casting director straight off didn't say that it was for the ultimatum, but I had looked through her page and I could see like what they were looking for, and I'm like, this shit is about the ultimatum. Right. And lo and behold, it was the ultimatum, and they did it, I think, in Houston last time, or Austin or whatever, so now they're doing it in Charlotte this time.
Which is big for...
I mean, for Charlotte, I don't doubt that there are going to be some people up there that we know. Like,
that's going to be insane.
I don't very seriously doubt it. And all of the friends that I told about it, it's like, if y'all just don't go up there and do it, I'm like, you know what? That's a bit much. Like, if you...
I was more on the end of hell no.
Oh, you was definitely on... No, not more on the end. You were saying... Yeah, you said hell no.
I'm super good off. The show was good. The show was a really good show. But can we do it? Yes. Do I want to do it? No. It's just like... to me, it's like... You don't have to do everything you can do. So I'm just like...
Let me tell y'all something. It's a lot of stuff I do for $30,000. I'm going to let y'all know that now. I had that money spent. As soon as she said it, I seen it. Gone. Spent. Just that quick. So, you know what I'm saying? I understand, because that show was a lot. Like, it's a lot. Granted,
it's like playing. To me, that's a show to kind of, like, if you serious, there was one couple that was, like, serious about each other, but for, like, the majority of the younger people, like, that was a game. That was a place that you could play games in.
Yeah,
and I'm just
pretty much.
That ain't my vibe.
I mean, no, I definitely understand it. Like I said, I see the pros and the cons of it.
Yeah.
But that's just not where, like, we're on the same page. So I'm not gonna put our relationship out for the entire world to see for $30,000. However. If you know casting directors, there's another show that we fit the bill for. No, let us know, okay? Because I'll be up there with bells and whistles. Like I said, my pride go out the window for $30,000. Okay.
I don't know if I won't agree with that, but I will.
For $100,000.
I don't.
You would listen. You wouldn't go on the ultimate if they would have paid us $100,000. No. $250,000.
No.
$300,000.
There's no number.
$350,000.
Baby, there's no number.
$1 million.
There's no number.
I'm sorry. For $1 million, we was going on the ultimatum.
You wouldn't have caught me on that show.
$1 million?
You would have had a good time. I wouldn't have been on the show.
$1 million.
Baby, that ain't...
$1 million.
That's just like, what would you do for $1 million? Like, that's just my pride. Like,
I'm gonna tell y'all, my pride got a price tag on it. I'm gonna just keep it a band. I ain't grow. You know what I'm saying? For $1 million, I'm not gonna tell y'all everything I would do. My group chat knows than what I would do for $1 million. So I'm gonna keep it cute. But that was an interesting start to the week, and as you can see, Honey Bunny was not interested in it at all. But I still took the meeting to learn more about it and meet the casting director. She's super, super sweet. Hopefully we will work with her in the future, though. So
yeah, that
was an interesting start to the week. And now you've learned a fun fact from me. My pride has a price tag. All right. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be kind of a series centered around the questions or the ideas that, you know, our listeners gave to us through our poll on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So last week we talked about dealing with FOMO. And this week there was a question that came up quite a bit. And it is how to maintain your relationship while also chasing your individual goals. So that is what we will be discussing today.
And that was a really good question. Well, good question asked by multiple different people.
Yeah.
Because that's something I feel like a lot of people are faced with, especially if you are in your career, you're trying to work on your career,
yeah.
Just trying to navigate life.
Yeah.
However it may be. So you want to start, or you want me to start?
I've been talking. So let me just sit my wall up.
All right. So, I would say. Let's just start with, I wrote down supportive communication.
Ooh.
So just like it sounds. Like you have to, I guess, talk things out, and begin by, I guess, listing out what your goals are. Because I think if you don't tell me your goals and I don't tell you my goals, then we're already not on the same page.
Yeah.
So I feel like we talk things out and we are supportive of each other's goals. I think that's the first thing to keeping the relationship together. And then another thing is like making sure that you're keeping the other person in mind when it comes to decision making. So I'll just give you an example. Right now I'm in a situation where I probably could take a job wherever, whenever. And so you're in a situation where that's not possible. So do I want to be like, hey, my goals are this? Oh, shit. My goals are, I want to do this and go after this, and I'm not keeping you in mind at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a relationship works like that. Like, I feel like you have to, I think you can have your own goals and you can have your own desires, but in order to keep a relationship together, I think you have to be very supportive of your partner and be able to keep your partner in mind whenever you make certain decisions. That can be whatever it may be. That's emotional decisions, career decisions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just doing what you finally told me to do.
What you doing?
Keeping this from locking.
Ah, okay.
That's what I was trying to do.
Nice. And I also wanted to note this. There's I was doing some research, and there's only about 3% of Americans that actually write down their goals or discuss their goals.
Not the statistic.
Yes. So this is by Brian Tracy, which is a author who's really good at selling and achieving certain numbers or whatever. But I find that crazy. Out of 97% of people, no one really sits down and writes down, what they're wanting to do.
Is that just physically writing it down, or does writing it in your phone not count? Do that include that?
They not review. They don't write it and review it. It was 1% don't. 3% don't even write it down. Or 3% of 3% of Americans actually write it down, and then only 1% of those 3% write it down and then review it on a weekly or monthly basis.
Do vision boards count?
Writing down, I don't know what goes into that, but
okay. Well, he might not have counted vision boards, but I do know a lot of people are moving into vision boards. It's just you can physically do it at home, or you can make a digital vision board. It's less work that way. So I think different people.
Yeah, I don't think they were talking about just pen and. It was off of a survey. I'm assuming they did it digital. They
probably did.
The people that were taking the survey, but I still find that I can see how that could probably be true. Even 3%, it can be a lot of people doing it, but that's not the majority of Americans doing it, which is
how do people function if they don't write down what they want to do? Maybe my brain is type A, so I gotta write everything down.
Well, think about it. Everybody may not be as driven, or once you get so busy with things, you may just go about life. You go to work. You just want to spend time with your family. You just want to, you have your goals kind of. Actually, you may not even have your goals.
That's what I was about to say. I think some people might. I didn't do this correctly, baby.
We're gonna figure.
Because I'm tired of keep thumping this damn thing. I think some people might lack a drive because they don't have their goals written out. They don't know what they want to do.
Right.
I think it's scary to think about what you want to do, especially if you're in a space where you haven't even taken the first step to achieving those goals. So it's easier to just not think about it.
Right.
Because I think sometimes when you think, you sit down and you're like, damn, I gotta do all of this to get this. That's a lot. And for some people, it's too much.
They just good. The thought of it sounds cool, but to actually go about it and have the accountability.
Yeah.
Like that. And the crazy thing is I definitely want to talk about accountability because my lovely girlfriend did something pretty funny this week.
Oh,
Lord. So this we do have supportive communication.
We do have supportive communication.
We write out our goals and we let each other know kind of what we're planning to do and what we would like to achieve. So I do all this last week. I'm like, baby, I'm gonna wake up at this time. We're gonna get it. We're gonna grind. My whole week is planned. I'm gonna get up at, I think it said 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
And I'm saying or something. That's still my plan for next week. Like I'm still gonna be trying. I'm not cutting it. But of course, this week I did not wake up at 4 o'clock. And guess who was up before me? My girlfriend. So
yep.
What happened was she took the time to what did she do? She took the time to
Did you put it in your wallet?
Take a good picture of me. Yes, as I was sleeping.
You put it in your wallet, baby.
And I'm gonna show my YouTubers, people watching YouTube.
Hope they don't see the call numbers.
Oh yeah, they can't. Somebody just subscribed to my channel.
Oh, congratulations!
All right. So yes, here it is. So for the people, hopefully they can see this. I don't know. I may edit this in, but it's just me laying in the bed cheesing because I'm like
comfy.
And keep in mind, this is not just a regular camera. This is a camera.
It's a Polaroid.
It's a Polaroid camera. So she literally clicked it.
Yep.
And then she laid it beside me. So that was I say all that to say is that I love that.
I did not know you had it in your wallet, baby.
That made me happy this week because it showed that she was listening, number one, and that she was holding me accountable. And so I'm saying all this bullshit, and then during the week I don't carry out what I have. I think in a relationship, you're able.
I'm holding you accountable now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get your girlfriend. Get a good one.
Yes, if
not just one, get a good one, a great one.
Yes,
a great one even.
An elite one who is going to be willing to hold you accountable. So, supportive communication is how you're able to work through your goals and
while you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
I think that's great. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that up. I should start taking notes like you do. You're brilliant.
No, I literally used to come to these podcasts and be like, baby, what are we talking about on the show? So that's horrible. I mean, I would handle the tech part, but.
And maybe that's why I don't write down notes, because I write the outline, so I know what we're talking about for the day. But I think a huge part of being able to chase your individual goals while in a relationship is you first need to clearly identify what it is that you want to do. And then I think it's also important to find out what your partner's goals are. Because to some degree, yes, they are individual goals, but they need to be aligned a little bit. Like James was saying, he could work from anywhere that he wants to work, right? But he's choosing to not do that because I'm still in school. And we have both decided that we will move once I graduate and we figure out where we want to live. So if his goal was within the next year to move to New York City, and my goal within the next year is to stay exactly where I'm at because I need to finish school, our goals aren't aligned, and it's gonna cause some conflict.
And that's okay. That's okay.
I mean, if that's what works for y'all,
Right. But they still need to be stated.
Yeah, they still need to be clearly stated, so it's not just like a surprise, like, oh, I'm moving to New York. Well, I gotta stay here. So those things need to be clearly identified. I think it's also important to, if you are someone who, let's say, I don't know, wants to have a family one day, or I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, wants to buy a family, if you're somebody
buy
who...
a family? You want to buy?
I said buy a family.
Yes.
Lord, I'm tired, y'all. Don't buy no family. I'm tired. I ain't even catch that.
I'm listening.
Or if you were someone who only wants to live in the South, maybe you should not date someone who only wants to live in the North, or date someone who doesn't want to have a family. Like, I think it's important to identify the goals that you have for your life, the things that you want, and then ask your partner, okay, here, what are your goals? How can I support you? How can you support me? And that's essentially what we're doing right now. Like,
yes.
Go ahead.
I was something that popped up in my head was along with goals. I think you have to understand how that person is too, because I just look at how we kind of do things, and I feel like if I was like a really maybe needy or didn't understand the way networking worked, or the way conferences and things like that work, like I would be tweaking out when you need to up and leave, or you're going another state for 4 days. You out doing, doing your thing for 4 days. I need to be able to understand how that works and not be like, what are you doing? Or I think it's like maybe an insecurity with someone else doing something that you're not doing.
FOMO.
Yes. Fear, yes.
FOMO.
The FOMO. Fear of missing out. So
I would agree. I think also I've observed where sometimes people will put their own goals on the back burner while somebody else is achieving their goals.
okay.
I'm not going to necessarily say that is a negative thing if you have a great partner. If you have somebody who, as soon as they done what they need to do and they out, you know what I'm saying, you probably don't need to be with that person. If you were going to say, hey, I will take a step back so that you can do what you need to do, but just know when it's my turn, I expect the same thing from you in return. And when I think about that, I think about Tabitha Brown and her husband. Her husband was a police officer, and he didn't want to be a police officer, but their family needed money, and she wanted to be an actress, and being an actress doesn't pay a lot of money, especially when you're not getting gigs. So he, was paying all the bills and stuff. So now that she is like a personality, she has her own seasonings, her own clothing line. I love Tabitha Brown so much, by the way. She retired her husband, and she said, okay, you stop working. I'm going to take care of us. You go do what it is that you want to go do now.
Gotcha.
And if you are with somebody that works with, that's fine. But I think that is completely situational and dependent on the type of person. I mean, because ultimately, you're not really doing that for me, but kind of. Like you were saying.
What you mean?
With
me moving or going?
Yeah, like you were like, we will move. These are the places we think we want to move, but ultimately it's going to be like where the money, like where the job, like with a job that is going to, like I'm going to make good money, I'm going to feel comfortable at, like it's going to have good mentorship, a whole list of things I want when I step into my career. And you're like, okay, well, we will go where you want to go.
Yeah, and let's just be honest, engineers don't make as much as a doctor, so ultimately, if I can work remote, that'd be silly not to.
Yeah. But that's a sacrifice.
Yes, I'm not overlooking that. It is a sacrifice in a sense.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of not. Like, I don't look at it as a sacrifice.
You don't?
Not really.
Okay.
Because I like working remote, so I mean it's cool. And then the second thing is the relationship outside of the career. The career is cool, but we're in a relationship, so it's like I want to be with you, so it's not really if I'm taking an opportunity, there's a healthy balance to that. Yep. But I mean, if you can do both, it'd just be silly to run off and not get the best of both worlds. So,
I mean, yeah, I agree.
I don't see I'm sure there's some opportunities out there, but I'm not super big on working for people like that anyway. So I think online space is just better in general. So
I agree. So that is another example of how you can maintain your relationship while chasing your individual goals. Figuring out what works for y'all.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Granted, I do think.
About to cry?
No, I'm not about to cry. No. I do think people in a relationship can both be chasing their goals at the same time, even if they, you know what, let's move into our center delete, because I'm about to get into that. So one of our center deletes for this week is it selfish to have goals that don't include your partner?
No. I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but
I mean, some people feel like it could be. I'm just asking what the people want to know.
No. The answer to your question is no. It is not selfish. Everything is not about your partner.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
Everything is not about everybody else. It's okay to have things that you want to do, you want to learn, you want to explore. That's what makes you you. So,
yes.
I guess when I think of the word selfish, it just means that you are just super entitled to, or maybe not entitled, but you just, all the focus is on you. And I think as long as you have some goals for the relationship, as long as you're willing to work with that partner in whatever way you need to work with them in, your partner, I think, should have their own thing going.
Yeah.
And you should have your own thing going. I think that's what we kind of talked about in another episode, is just not getting so caught up into not losing yourself within the relationship.
Yeah.
So I really do feel like if you don't have your own goals and just things that you like to do and you enjoy, I think you lose yourself. I think you've lost yourself.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. But
I have a different take on this.
Okay.
As we normally have differing takes on stuff.
Yeah. I feel like the last couple of episodes we've
had different. But I also don't want us to agree all the time.
Like, oh, yeah, for sure. No.
I was listening to something, and it was like, if you and your partner agree all the time, one, isn't being their authentic self, or two, someone is afraid to actually share how they feel because they're fearful of what the other person might say or do.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you know.
Exactly. So I have a different take on this. I do think everyone should have their own goals outside of their partner. Obviously, I've said it a few times. But I do think it is selfish to have goals that don't include your partner if it is going to cause, I don't want to say turmoil, but kind of turmoil in your relationship. I think it's selfish to say, you know what I'm saying, you've always wanted to go to Shanghai. I don't fucking know why I just thought of that. But you've always wanted to work in Shanghai. And you accept a position there without even talking about it with your partner. That's a little selfish to me. Ultimately, if that's your life's goal, you should do it. Do I think you should give the person that you are with, that you love, that you're building a life with, the courtesy of knowing, hey, this is something that I want to do. I still want to be with you. Let's talk about how we could make that work. I think if you don't have that conversation first and you just do something, that's selfish.
I would agree.
Because in a relationship, to us anyway, it's a big part of being in a relationship is you are now responsible for somebody else's feelings. Like, you wouldn't want them to do that to you. So to me, I think it's a little bit selfish to do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that extreme. Like, it could.
So you're just saying when you say don't include, you're specifically saying you're not like prepping that person, talking to that person.
Yes. That's what I mean. I do think it's important to have your own goals outside of your partner, but if it directly affects them, you kind of, to me, I would like that courtesy to say, hey, this is what's going on. Reassure that person that, you know, if you still want to be with them, say, hey, I still want to be with you. Let's figure out how we can make this work. So
Right.
that sort of thing. So that's why I say I think it has the potential to be selfish, is what I mean by that. So we kind of already talked about our second send or delete. So this is what we're about to do. We have these cards that are for couples. I'm not going to say their name because they are not sponsoring this episode. If they decide to sponsor an episode, baby, trust and believe y'all will know the name of these damn cards. I guarantee you. So since we've gone through both of our set of deletes for this week, I think it will be fun if you pick a card, I pick a card, and we just talk about that, and then we wrap up the episode. I think that would be fun. You want to shuffle?
Yeah, I can do a little 1, 2.
Okay, so you pick from that pile, I pick from this pile. Okay. Also, like I said, I'm not saying the name of these cards, but if they do decide to sponsor an episode, I'll tell you guys all about them. Just know they're cards for couples, and they're prompts to get to know someone deeper. And I think we've had this since the beginning of our relationship. Honestly, we've had these for years, so, and we still haven't gotten through all of the questions, mind you. So, all right, I'm gonna pick a card. Hopefully, it's something that's kind of related to the episode.
Any card.
That would be great.
I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, you can go first. You go first.
You better take a second.
No, you go first. You go first. I'm just trying to find something that's kind of related to the topic.
All right, so my card says, before we met each other, what did you imagine your dream partner to be like?
Wow. Hello, universe. I think that's a funny question because just last week I was saying what I envisioned my dream partner to be was you. Because remember, I wrote about it in my journal. I prayed about it. I said, God, I just want a man that is tailor-made for me. And I said, not only do I want a man that's tailor-made for me, I don't think I mentioned this last week, but I said, I want him to come when I am ready. Because if you get the right person and the time is wrong, it's not going to work. So I was like, yeah, I want the right person when the time is right. And, you know, I prayed. I know I prayed for the person to be a Christian. I prayed that they would be. If I could find that notebook, I will read what I said on the episode in my notebook on another episode. I think I still have it. I was like, I want them to be family oriented. I want them to be trustworthy. I want them to be charismatic, respectful, loving. All of these qualities that I wanted in a partner is what I got when I met you. So
it's beautiful. So beautiful. When you said you prayed, that reminded me of something crazy that happened this week.
What?
I called you when it happened.
Oh, yes, that. So much stuff goes on in my weeks.
I have been praying, I guess, for kind of like guidance, I would call it. Mm-hmm. And it just dawned on me that God let me know, like, I can make as much money as I want in the world, can kind of do what I want, but he was like, or she, don't want to be disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
No, you just when you said God is he or she, it's not doesn't have a gender.
To me,
it's a higher being.
Yes, that's pretty much. And I don't think God particularly cares if we say her, him.
Right.
I respond with whatever I feel at that moment. If I feel a fatherly energy, I say him. If I feel a motherly energy, I say her. It depends how I feel. Some people are stuck on God being the man for obvious reasons. But you're not being disrespectful. I appreciate you for thinking about it. Yeah. You know,
it opened my eyes. But yeah, it's like you can make as much money as you want, but you're not gonna be fulfilled unless you're helping somebody grow, and that you're lightening the load off of somebody else. So I thought that was that's been like the message of the week for me this week. So when you had mentioned you have been praying for like someone to come at the perfect time, that just reminded me of that.
Well, that's sweet, baby. I'm glad that you decided. I mean, I already knew, but I just thought it was nice that you decided to share that with our listeners, because I know that you're very private and, you know, sharing and being transparent is something that is new to you. So I'm glad that you decided to share that. Okay, listen, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Every card I picked up was about sex, and that's why I kept just going. I'm like, bro, like, please, something else. So I finally found one that kind of relates to goals. Kind of. Okay. Can you imagine yourself living abroad?
For sure.
Okay.
That ain't even a question. Like, I wouldn't say living forever abroad. No.
Okay.
But for a few months, a year, I would love to do that. You know where I want to go anyways.
We both want to go there, and we're going to go.
Yeah, it is going to happen.
Yes.
But yeah, I would love to live abroad, learn something different. Like, one of the biggest things that I see is mindset. Your surrounding and how you grow up and your location, it forms and shapes your mindset. So I need to see how somebody else thinks.
Yeah. In
another country, in another nation, another place, because they may, there was one, my parents, they went somewhere and they drove on a different side of the street, and the driver was on the right side instead of the left side.
Oh, that was in Europe or somewhere.
I don't think so, but
either way.
All in all, that just lets you know that some of the shit you doing is just because of your location and the mindset you have. But I want to see it. I want to see something different. And it's going to be odd. It's going to throw me off. I'm probably not going to be the happiest all the time, because it's going to confuse the shit out of me. I cannot imagine driving on
a different side of the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And seeing lights, and it's normal to make left turns instead of right turns. Like, that just throws your whole
everything
thing out. Yeah, the way you think. So yes, I would love for us to live abroad.
I would too. I thought that was interesting, because again, if one of your goals is to live abroad and the person that you are dating, one of their goals is not to live abroad, that's gonna need to be an important conversation to have.
Every conversation is
important. But I think that's a huge one. Like, if they don't want to leave and you want to leave, if y'all can make it work from an ocean apart, do it. This is what I say. Yeah. You can make it work. So that's all I have for this week. We're keeping this episode short, cute, straight to the point, and pretty soon, if you all are interested in bonus content, because these 40-50 minute videos are not enough for you, we will have a Patreon that will be available soon. I don't have a date for you yet, but soon.
Best believe we're working on it.
Oh, we stay working. It's so much in store. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, all right. If you are listening to this audio and you want to see our face, feel free to head over to our Message 24 YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to hear our audio, we're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, so wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, we are there. Yep. You can also follow us on Instagram at Message24Pod on Instagram. Yep. That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all. I just felt something come over me, so I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna get religious, but I just got a message. Take a break is all I'm going to say, and that will resonate for who it is supposed to resonate for. It might be for me, because I actually be doing too damn much, so it might honestly be for me. But I did just hear, please find time this week to take a break. So if you're listening right now, it's Wednesday. We drop on Wednesdays. You might actually be listening on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. If you can find time to take a break today, take a break. there are a lot of things going on in the world right now that a lot of us are carrying around and moving like this shit is normal. The life that we like, the stuff that's going on in the world right now is not normal, and us just moving through life every day like it's normal, it's not. That's actually terrifying to think about. So I encourage you all to take a break, sit with your thoughts, sit with your feelings, call your loved ones, check on your friends, just take a break, detach from work, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. That is the message that I have for you all.
And I got one.
What you got? Just weird guys talking to you. Oh Lord, no, because they ain't told you to say what you about to say. I already know what you about to say.
No,
I already know what you about to say.
No, I wasn't going to do what you think I'm going to do. So I'm not being crazy right now.
What's the message?
I was going to say, just be present. Like, that's a big one for me. That I'm kind of talking to myself, but for those who are listening, be present. For those who are very goal oriented and you really enjoyed this episode, be present for now. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about everything that you planning and trying to get to. Just enjoy the people that you have right now.
I received that. So. I received that because that was for me. I've been moving so much, I forget something I just did 5 minutes ago. So that was for me. I receive it. Yeah, so I hope y'all have a great rest.
Hold on, I got one more thing.
Wait, I already know what you about to say. Is it what I'm thinking? Huh. It is what I'm... So I'm trying to say something. Oh. This is the first episode of Message 24 that you have listened to. This is episode 16, so we have 15 other amazing episodes for you all to listen to, and you can go see our faces on our YouTube channel as well. Now that's all I had to say. Y'all have a great Wednesday. I wonder if people see you doing this. Stop. I think you damn crazy.